All right, thank you so much, ma'am, for joining me, Angela ma'am and Indu ma'am. I'm just going to present my this topic. This is going to be today's third lecture for the paper second, and this is regarding human resources management. We have already gone through from the concept of recruitment, and we also did regarding the selection as well. Okay, so recruitment is the first process and selection is the second one. And after that, here comes some types of tests, and after that there is interview. Then this topic will be over, and that was the whole part which was to be covered on the day of Monday. So this is why we have included this specific day. Before starting, I am going to tell you, I genuinely believe that each and everything said by me, I don't believe that everything will be, will now, if I'm asking, that should not be there in your mind. Maybe some of the things you have skipped, which you will be memorizing afterwards. But still, this is my duty to ask you that recruitment and selection, are these two topics covered to you? Did you understand what I taught you in recruitment and selection, so that I move further in the way? All right, thank you so much. I've got the confirmation who have joined. I think they have already joined, and the others shall be requiring the recorded version as well. I'm just going to share the screen. In this specific lecture, I shall teach you about different types of tests conducted by the management for hiring the people, and after that I shall be telling you regarding interviews and what types of interviews are there in the organization nowadays. So all these things are not important from the point of view of our papers as well, but from the point of view of general knowledge as well. You shall get to know a lot of things regarding how the things in the corporate world nowadays being done. So just going to share the screen so that everything is visible to you. And this is going to be related to testing and interviews. Okay, so this is about that. Let me just make okay, all right, everything is fine from my side. Now just going to share the screen. So this is going to be about the testing techniques and the different kinds of interviews held by the organizations for hiring the employees. Okay, testing and interviews is the topic. In this topic, again, we shall be trying to find the answer of two questions. The question number one is, what are the different types of tests conducted by the organization or companies to hire the personals? And in the second question, we shall be trying to answer the question, what is interview? What is interview and what are different kinds of interviews conducted in the organization for hiring the personnel or the human resources in the organization? So this is going to be the very important from point of view of our examination. So first of all, we shall be finding the answer of first question. This is different types of tests. I shall be telling you around 10 types of tests which are there. The first one is intelligence test. This measure not only single intelligent traits, but everything in all. Okay, like your memory, your vocabulary, your verbal fluency, your numerical ability, and your perception as well. So the tests which are conducted for finding the level of all these traits, this kind of test is known as intelligence test. And most important, and some of the very good examples of these tests are standard Binet test, then Wechsler test, then other IQ tests are Wunderlich test. So these kind of tests have a purpose of finding the level of intelligence of a specific person. I hope you would have understood that. The next one is aptitude test. Okay, this specifically measures the mental abilities such as inductive and deductive reasoning, verbal comprehension, memory, and numerical ability. So these kind of tests are known as aptitude test. Okay, which which are conducted to find your reasoning ability, your comprehensions ability, whether you are easily able to comprehend the different activities of the organization. Then to check the level of your memory and to check level of your numerical ability. So two tests are there which are famous, which can be categorized in aptitude test. The first one is a mechanical aptitude test. It checks your ability, whether you are mechanically, the things provided to you, whether you can perform this with your mechanic ability. Okay, from your reasoning or your aptitude, what is your aptitude regarding the work provided to you. To check this aptitude, the specific kind of a test is mechanical aptitude test. Then this is psychomotor skill test. This test is conducted to check whether you possess the appropriate kind of skill to perform a specific job for the organization. So these are the two tests coming under the aptitude test, and aptitude test in all take into consideration your reasoning, comprehension, memory, and numerical ability. So two tests I have made you familiar with. The third one is personality test. It takes your personality overall. It is conducted to evaluate your personality. They purport to probe deeply to discover clues of an individual's value system. What is your value system? What is your emotional reaction? What is your level of maturity? These tests are known as projective tests as well. Okay, they take into consideration your personality as a whole, and these tests are taken for just checking your personality traits, whether these are in coherence with the jobs or works being assigned to you in the organization. And these have some important things in that. Okay, personality tests are of different types. Like I told you about aptitudes, these are of two types, mechanical and psychomotor. In the same way, personality test can be further bifurcated or divided into three parts. The first one is a thematic appreciation test. Okay, what is done in that? The person who is being tested, he is shown a picture and he is asked to make up a story based on that picture. If I'm showing you a story, if I'm showing you an image, like this is an image, this is a logo of my institution. Okay, so if I'm showing you this logo, what do you perceive regarding this specific logo and my institution? If I'm asking you this, this is a kind of a thematic appreciation test. So this is all about that. Then this is Gilgo's Zimmerman test. Okay, so this kind of survey measures personality traits like emotional stability, or your moodiness, or your friendliness. Okay, so these kind of attitude or level of perception are conducted or are tested under this specific test, and this is known as Gilgold Zimmerman's test, which take into consideration your emotional status, your moodiness, then your friendliness, and anything else. Then there is Minnesota multiphasic personality test. Okay, so this is a kind of inventory, and it tests different kind of traits. Just leave that, I'm telling you. This is like how much introvert or extrovert you are, how much emotional stability you are having, how much agreeable you are having, how much consciousness you are having, how much openness to experience you are having. This is also known as big five personality dimension or personality traits, which we shall also go in the subject of consumer behavior as well. So this is known as Minnesota multiphasic personality test, which is usually conducted to check the traits like hypochondria and paranoia, which take into consideration all these big five personality traits. So these are the different types of tests under the personality test, which are conducted for finding the suitable candidates. Till now, I have taught you regarding intelligence test, then aptitude test, then personality test. Okay, then there is interest test. These kind of tests are taken or conducted for finding the interest of the candidate to a specific subject, in which subject or which field they are interested in. Okay, so it just compare one's interest with those of people in the occupation. Okay, so famous test in this field is a strong Gempal test. Okay, in this test, that would receive a report comparing his interest to those of people already in the occupation, like accounting, engineering, management, and medical technology, or it can be anything, not restricted to these as well. So the test which is conducted to check upon your interest regarding different professions, that kind of test is known as interest test. Then achievement test, okay, it's just taken for finding what you have achieved, what you have learned from a specific class. Like after, immediately after this class, if I'm taking your test, how much you have learned regarding selection, how much you have learned regarding recruitment, so you shall answer me. So that kind of test is known as achievement test. It measure of what a person has learned. So this is the fifth test named as achievement test. The sixth one is simulation test. What does it tell you? This is a test which duplicates many of the activities and problems employee faces at work. Okay, a similar kind of environment is provided to the employee. Okay, and this is simulated. Okay, so in this, some activities which the employee is supposed to fulfill in at the actual work job, work condition, these are simulated, and the employee is asked to perform this in a simulated manner. Okay, so these kind of tests are known as simulation test. The basic procedure is to choose several tasks crucial to performing the job and to test the applicants on samples of each. Samples of actual job content is given to the employees and they are asked to perform that. This is just called simulation test. Then there are assessment center. They can further be bifurcated. Okay, so these are assessment centers. These things are not happen in the real job situations, but each and every big MNCs and the organization uh, have created their own assessment centers in which the tests or the training is conducted. In this method, initially a small batch of applicants comes to the assessment center. This is a separate room. Then what happens? Their performance in a situational exercise is observed, and their performance is observed by a team of 6 to 8 assessors, which are expert in the field. So what happens here? Not in the real job situation, but in a separate room, which is known as assessment center, their test is taken or their performance is evaluated. So in assessment center, there are different kinds of tests or training procedures, which I am going to tell you right now. We can also say the tests of assessment centers can be bifurcated into different parts. So the first part is the in-basket method. What happens here in this method? The candidate is provided with a basket or tray of papers and a file related to functional area. He is provided with a complete basket. In this basket, some files are there, some papers are there, which relates to the actual job. And he is asked to study all these papers, all these files, and give his own recommendations on the problem. This is known as the in-basket system of training or in-basket system of testing the candidate. Then there is a leaderless group discussion. Suppose sometime if I am taking the group discussion, I just assign you a specific topic, and after assigning the topic, I just leave the situation. Then you just discuss with your group. This is called leaderless group discussion. The assessor gives leaderless group discussion a question and tell the candidates to arrive at a group discussion. So this is called leaderless group discussion, which also happens in assessment centers. Then there are management games. Okay, in a simulated environment, some same situations are given, like someone is performing the role of a manager. Okay, someone is of a competitor, someone is of supplier. So these, so they play with each other like they are actually performing the job in the organization. The candidates have to solve realistic problems as a member of a simulated. Simulated means artificially created companies. Okay, so they perform their jobs Okay, so in this way, the management games are held in the assessment centers. Then the next is individual's presentation. Like I am presenting right now, they are asked to prepare a presentation or PowerPoints on a specific topic, and they are asked to perform or show this presentation to whole of the classroom. So I think these were the only ways by which these kind of tests are conducted. So these all are covered under assessment centers. So what happens in assessment centers? The in-basket system, the leaderless group discussion, management games, and individual presentations are there. So in this way, tests are taken. Then there are objective tests. What are these? In these, the objective kind of questions are asked. Like I take the test on daily basis. They check the personality, mental ability, and interest and achievement. In this, the objective kind of questions are there. Where the question is asked, there are 4 or 5 options, and the candidates are asked to answer these questions. So these are known as objective tests. The ninth one is simply the interview. This is one-to-one interview in the candidates interest area. The manager calls them, and the HR manager call them, and they ask him to appear in the interview on a specific day. Then the interview of the candidate is conducted, so that they get to know about the idea whether he can perform a specific job in the organization or not. So this is the ninth kind of a test. And the last one is, I think this is this is the 10th one. This is video based situational test. In this, what happens, the video is shown to all the candidates, okay, and at a specific interval. Suppose this video is of 30 minutes. At a specific intervals, what happen, after 10 minutes the video is paused, and the video presenter asks the question to all the candidates that what do you understand about this video and what you can further suggest regarding the situation given in the video. After 15 minutes, again this happens. After 20 minutes, again this happens. In this way, video based situational tests are conducted. A typical video based on test provides a candidate with several scenarios, each followed by multiple choice questions. So in this way, tests are conducted, and this is the 10th kind of test you have to go through. Then there are graphology tests. They just check the handwriting of the candidate. Like mine is not that much good, but still, luckily, I am able to teach 100 and 1000 of students in my career of past 6 years. Okay, so graphology test just to check the handwriting of the candidate. Then this is last one, polygraphy test. This is a lie detector test. A machine on a machine, the person or the candidate is made sit, and when he sits on that, he is asked some questions, and if he is right, then there is green light. If he is wrong, then there is red light. These kind of tests are known as polygraphy test. So I hope I was able to completely teach you regarding different kind of tests conducted. If we are taking their brief introductions again and their conclusion, so we can say that there are around 10 different tests which are conducted in the organization. The first one is intelligence test, aptitude test, personality test. Personality test contains 3 different kind of tests like thematic appreciation, then Gilgore-Zimmerman test, Minnesota multiphasic personality test. Then the fourth one is interest test, achievement test, simulation test. Then assessment centers are there. It further contains 4 types like the in-basket system, leaderless group discussion, management games, and individual presentations. And then the 8th one is objective test, 9th one interviews, then 10th one is the video-based situational testing system. Then there is a graphology test. Then last is polygraphy test. So these were all the details of a different test conducted in the organization to find the suitability of a candidate. Now the next topic, this is not going to be this much large and not going to burdenize you, although the lecture for the Tuesday we are also planning in this day after interval of 1 or 2 hours as well. So this is specifically regarding interviews. Interview, you all know, you would have all appeared in the interview. This is the situation in which a panel, a single one, a single manager, or a single person, or a group or a panel of a complete expert is sitting in front of you, and you are made sit on a specific chair or at some other place, and they consistently ask you some questions to find whether you are suitable for the job or not. So this is called interview or the process of interviews. The only thing that is important in the interview is the types of different interviews. Okay, so what is this? This is a face-to-face interaction between employer and the employee, in which employee is asked a question related to job, and in this stage the employer get to know whether they can hire you or they cannot hire you, or you just have to leave the venue. So this is the situation. Now I'm going to tell you all the details regarding interview. So the interview can be classified into three broad categories. There are three broad categories on the basis of which the interviews can be conducted. Okay, I'm going to explain all the broad categories right now. The first is class